beautiful face I have found in this place that is circling all around the sun. What a beautiful dream that could flash on the screen in a blink of an eye and be gone from me. Soft and sweet, let me hold it close and keep it here with me. And one day we will die, and our ashes will fly from the aeroplane over the sea. But for now we are young, let us lay in the sun and count every beautiful thing we can see. Love to be in the arms of all I'm keeping here with me.
You know, it doesn't take any special talent to do what these people do. All they do is tap into something they know about that most people don't. My disgruntled demeanor has always propelled me to make the decision not to join in their satanic symbolism or whatever, satanic ritual. The ritual of tapping insanity, because that's what it is. It's this occult tapping of magic, of the black underworld that they teach to so many of these young people that those young people that want to sell out so easily and be a part of it and will do whatever it takes to be a part of the bullshit. But you don't have to do whatever it takes, though. If you want money, you do. So that's a decision you need to make in your life is, are you going to sell your soul? Okay? Because, you can learn to tap what they've tapped, but at a cost. That cost is, being able to live with yourself. You think these actors and whores, and actress whores, you think they're happy with their lives, with all their money? They pretend. They put on a show, but they're miserable, I tell you what, there's been points in my life where I did very well for myself. I don't remember being any more happier than I am now. Matter of fact, I remember being more miserable so many times when I had stuff, when I had the fancy car, when I had the stuff, the matching outfits and all that cool stuff, right? The Italian leather shoes, For all I know, I probably paid for some stuff that was made in China, slapped a little logo that said Italy on it, But, that's the world we live in. They could teach you how to tap. They can teach you how to tap something that not many people know about. But I've made that choice not to tap it. I'm not going to tap the satanic ass. You know what I mean? But I'm going to relish. I'm going to feed my ego a little bit when I say I'm right. When I say I'm right. There's been too many times I've been right. I think the last video the last video we spoke about. The Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes, that there was a potential for a false flag in Virginia. Well, nothing happened, actually. It went over pretty well, Tons of people there. Matter of fact, which is interesting, is I don't know what the exact number is, and they probably don't even want to release the number because it was a ridiculous amount of people that were there in Virginia. I mean, it was densely populated. There had to have been 100,000 people there, I'm guessing, right? If not close to it, right? And for that many people to be gathered in the area and no arrests, right? No problems, no arrests, and a whole bunch of people had guns. Okay, But that could have been one of these reverse psyops that we see so many times, I think they were ready to intentionally cause trouble. I think, or I'd like to hope that, what we spoke about maybe scared them. That a couple people in the truth community spoke about how the potential for a false flag was going to happen. So therefore, they knew we were ready, and it went over well, But we did talk about the Proud Boys, right? Didn't we? We talked about Gavin McInnes. Of course, we see how the Huffington Post puts a spin on it. Thousands, okay, well, maybe tens of thousands, if not 100,000 plus, of pro-gun activists and far-right extremists swarm Richmond. They make it sound so evil. Oh, no. And then they got this, transvestite picture of some news reporter or trainee, telling everybody about the far-right extremists because they have a gun. Oh, my God, you have a gun. You're a far-right extremist. Let me tell you something, all right? Not for nothing, I am... By far, everybody knows out there that I don't believe that there's anybody different controlling both sides. I don't believe there's a separation. I don't think there's, it's one bird, two wings. The Freemasonic secret society, and then you tie in the Jews with that, and then through, you could call it the Vatican, the Jesuits. It's all the same group. You got to remember, this is the way it works. Let me remove this so I could tell you real quick. Okay. You have the Masons, all right? Let's say you have neighbor Joe Schmo lives next to you, and they're a Mason, right? And they do some great work, collect coats in the winter for the poor, maybe have a blood drive or whatever the hell they do, So anyways, you have Joe Schmo there, that's a Mason, okay? Now, they might even move up in his Masonic Lodge, but, if you're not in a wealthy area, that Masonic Lodge is just going to be, it's going to have a plateau, right? But there's many Masonic, Freemasonic secret societies or lodges that have other groups within it that they can move up through, okay? And they're going to find those particular people that fit into that group that's going to move up, that fit the brainwashing, that fit the agenda, okay? And then those are the people that are going to move up and understand and then start being a part of these things, whether they're false flags, staged events, or whatever it may be, okay? Or pushed out there in politics, okay, to be your senator, your governor, your local whatever that's robbing you, okay? That's how that works. So Joe Schmo doesn't even freaking know. Your neighbor Joe Schmo, that's a Mason. He probably is a decent guy. You don't know. Again, my theory goes back to the fact that he's so stupid and doesn't know what he supports, therefore you should still spit on the fucker. So don't ever be nice to your Joe Schmo neighbor. That is a Mason. That's, my belief. If they're that dumb, they don't deserve any respect. Right? I have no, unless they're special needs, unless they're walking out of the house with a helmet and getting on a little short bus, then you got to have respect for them. Right? But if they're not special needs and they're just dumb like that, fuck them. You know what I mean? But anyways, back to this whole thing we spoke about, okay? The Proud Boys. Of course, in this extremist article, about extremists that went to Virginia, they mentioned the Proud Boys, right? And what do we say? There's a controlled group. It's kind of a slanderous, stint at the Proud Boys here. But here's the thing. Because the Proud Boys are in on it, they're not going to sue. They're not going to cause problems. So even like the Oath Keepers, we know they're infiltrated, right? They're all infiltrated. All these groups are infiltrated. It doesn't mean that they don't carry a good message or anything like that. It just means they're infiltrated. You got to keep an eye on that. But, we said the Proud Boys would end up showing up, something like that. And of course, they're going to, they could have caused trouble and then would have made the whole group look bad. I think they were smart enough to see that there were way too many people there. They would have been caught at anything they would have done, So with all these, people that take part in false flags and do these different staged events and intentionally infiltrate and cause trouble, I think that they were smart enough, which is a surprise that they're smart enough, to have known not to do anything. during the protest, which is great. That means that, what did happen was positive. Of course, what I find funny is that, the people that were giving speeches were, religious leaders. And again, there's nothing wrong with being religious or anything else. But it just goes in and fits into agenda. It fits into agenda, that they're going to push, that all conservatives are religious and into this, Christian idealism and all this and stuff and that, because they got to push those people that way, because that way they can control them. So you knew there was something in there, but it was, I'm sure some of those people that were giving the speeches, if not all of them, were Masons, right? That they're going to lead both sides. This is part of the game. But I find it, quite funny that the day before the event, I was able to say, well, this is probably the people that are going to show up, probably the type of thing they're going to do. They didn't do it, but the fact that, I called it beforehand, without even knowing, is showing you that these people are predictable in their behavior. Of course, Alex Jones showed up. There wasn't much about him. Thank God, because the dude's a bubbling moron. We wanted so much Sandy Hook truth to get out there, but he prevented that from happening because of his stupidity. Maybe now that he's moved away, we can finally push ahead and figure out how to get a real court case there, because they don't want that. They want the fake Alex Jones court case stuff going on. We need to force something real in the future, okay? But, these groups. I hear you, Blizzy. I'm going to go quick. I'm almost done. She is getting hungry. She wants me to make her dinner. 3 neo-Nazis associated with a white supremacist group called the Base, Al-Qaeda, okay? Before even the news talked about that, I noticed that, it's not a real Nazi group. It's not a real white supremacist group. It's just one they made up. This is the stuff they feed you. And you know what? Not how many people out there reading the news, watching the news, believe the shit. They believe it. We got to stop believing everybody, okay? Especially the news. But they want people to get on board this. I hear you, Blizzy. I'm going quick. I was going to talk about a couple other things, but you're killing me here. All right. Anyways, I got to get going because my dog is sitting here growling at me because I haven't made her dinner yet. And it's not that she don't have no food in her bowl. It's filled to the freaking top. I cook for her every night because I'm a stupid little slave to my dog, But what better slave to be than to an animal that deserves kindness every once in a while. She likes it more than every once in a while. But anyways, I'm going to go and do that. I got some other things I'll talk about another time. But Blizzy wants some dinner.
Glorious love, we have found here tonight. There is music that sounds from the street. There are lights in the clouds and there's ghosts all around. Hear a voice as it's rolling and ringing from me. Soft and sweet, how the notes all bend and reach above the tree. Now how
you gotta be kidding me.
Insanely helpful. Real stories from Easy Cater.